Ang dilim mo siya gala. Hindi mo na kayong todo na.
Mamaya, yung na-video mo dyan, may puti.
Kasi dyan, pag tumayo ka dyan, matatakot kami.
Uy, pero yung bahay dyan sa Batangas, may tao ah. Di ba na alam mo yung nagpapantay ako sa'yo?
Oo.
Yung madaling araw. Yung nagkukuminom tayo nun, bago lumabas si Lolin, ay lang lumabas si Lolin, tas naupo. May, doon sa kusina, may dumaan, lalaki.
Gago!
Legit! Kaya nga, tamo kay Pat, nagpapantay ako.
Ayoko na!
Uy, dito ka pa talaga nagkwento. Dilim-dilim.
Legit nga!
Tama ba?
Promise! Oo, sabta mo kay Pat, nagpantay ako, iihilang ako. Sabi ko, tayo mo ako dyan sa labas, huwag ka munang umalis ha. Pero may nakita kasi talaga ako eh, kaya nga gusto ko nang matulog eh.
Uy, yung umiinom nga tayo, may
Kaya pala yung sinamahan mo ako dun sa CR.
Oo, di ba sabi ko, samahan kita, tapos ikaw, antay mo rin ako ha. Kasi nga ano nga, di ba?
Yung
Akala ko, pre, tapang mo. Inatid mo siya. Yung pala gusto mo rin
Hindi, yung nagiinuman tayo, may kumakaluskus. Akala ko sa kapitbahay.
Sa labas?
O sa sala.
Gago, dapat pala tumabi ka na lang gym eh.
Tapos kaya, mapat. Tabi-tabi ka na lang.
Tabi mo pala siya.
No.
Kaya nga ano, tag dito, sabi ko matutulog na rin ako kasi parang masamang pangitain na agad eh. Parang nag-aawat na siya eh. Ayaw niya na, ganun po.
Maingay.
Nakakabisit.
Natira pa naman si Lolin sa kasi Almoro.
Stay nga kami, tapos may kumakaluskus nga sa sala. Kumakaluskus nga sa sala. Para sa inisip ko na sa kapitbahay yun. Pero yung rinig ko, doon mismo.
May dumaan niya nun, nakatalikod din si Almoro doon sa kusina eh. Ako lang yun nandun.
Gagi, tapos dito.
Okay,
Ayaw pa gumana ngayon.
tingnan ko.
Yung ano, yung cambio.
Ang cambio, ayaw mo.
Yun.
Puti kayo, huwag na kayo ganyan, biro.
Gogi, ayaw gumana.
Ayusin na yung sapatos.
Uy, stress ako bigla.
Yung ilaw.
Ayusin na yung sapatos.
Huwag na tayo makinig. Tama eh.
Ay, mag-biro, gagit. Sa'yo na yan, baka mamaya.
Sige natin.
Wag na tayo.
Kailan na tayo music?
Hindi, holy music na lang
Baka
tayo.
mamaya,
Party.
sumama sa atin yun nandun sa Batangas
Dali na,
na
sige
eh.
na. Yung music na lang tayo.
Tama na daw po na, tama na.
Mamaya sumama nga yun. Kasi, di ba?
Story time of my ghost encounter in DLSU which just happened last night. Let's go. Yesterday, I had a 6:30 p.m. to 8 p.m. face-to-face quiz and the room assigned to us was in GOCS or Gokongwei College of Engineering. And I'm not really familiar with that building, so I asked my friend kung pwede sabay kami pumunta doon because hindi ko nga alam yung daan. And also, I don't know why, pero yesterday sabi ko sa kanya na takot ako sa building na yun. I've been there once and medyo off yung vibes kasi hindi siya open air na hallway. Unlike yung ibang buildings ng Lasal na kita mo yung outdoors and yung trees. So yun. So we entered the main building of Gokongwei and then nag-quiz kami sa second floor and then I finished a little bit earlier than everyone else did. So pagkatapos kasi ng quiz, pwede ka nang umuwi and uwing-uwi na ako. So, I left the room. So, paglabas ko ng room, nag-phone muna ako. And then, I was looking around. Tapos, na-realize ko na I've been here before sa second floor. And I also remembered na the way na nakapunta ako sa Gokongwei before was through St. Miguel, which is another building in Lasal. So, naisip ko, okay, doon na lang ako dadaan sa bridge that connects the two buildings para hindi na ako lalabas at magtatap ng ID ulit and hindi na ako maaambunan. Okay, so, okay, so papunta na ako dun sa bridge that connects the two buildings. I turned to this hallway and it was pitch black. It was pitch black. Tapos, I already had such a bad feeling kasi tumayo lahat ng balahibo ko, pati sa likod ng neck ko. As in, kinalabutan talaga ako. But, I was like, I really need to pee and the only closest CR that I know is in Miguel. So, let me just rush through this dark hallway para maka-CR na ako. Yun, in-ignore ko na lang yung chills. So, I walked through the dark hallway again with that bad feeling. And then, as I was walking, may lights na sa isang part. So, parang, okay. And then, I turned again. And as I was going to the direction of the bridge, which is this way, merong straight na hallway in the other direction. Wait, okay, I'm sweating already. Pagtingin ko sa other direction, it's a long hallway. And in this hallway, puro lockers na siguro mga 6 feet tall. And then when I looked at the end of the hallway, dun sa pinakadulo na locker, merong malaking matangkad na black figure na gumanto. Let me demonstrate para sama-sama tayong matakot. So, pretend that this is the locker. May nakita akong shadow na gumanto. When I saw that, I just froze. I don't know for how long. And then, my immediate reaction was trying to rationalize kung ano yung nakita ko. And my first thought was that baka reflection ko lang yon. But then, sa dulo ng hallway, wala namang glass or wala namang mirror. So, there's no way para magkaroon ng reflection ko. And also, yung shadow na gumanon, it was going to the opposite direction as I was. So, imposible naman na reflection tas magkaibang direction. Like, that doesn't make sense. I don't know how long ako nakatayo doon, but nung na-realize ko na shit, it's a ghost. Sakto, nag-ring yung phone ko, which is so random. Parang sa mga movies, nag-ring yung phone ko kasi tumatawag yung susundo sa akin. And dun ako parang snap out of it, tapos tumakbo na ako papunta. As I was walking, nasa Miguel na ako nito. There was another set of stairs, pero pataas naman. And it was also dark. Tapos biglang tumayo na naman yung balahibo ko. So, I had another bad feeling. So, I just ran pababa sa stairs. And then when I finally got out of the building, as in, hinihingal ako. I was like, tapos may mga tao kasi dun sa mga benches. Parang, napatingin sila sa akin na parang, girl, what happened to you? So yeah, that was my ghost encounter in DLSU. Sana hindi na masundan. And if you want to see more of my ghost stories, just click my playlist. And yeah, stay safe! Happy Halloween!
Something really strange has happened the past 2 nights. I've been sleeping in the basement. So every night I listen to like a sleepy podcast. And the one I've been listening to is them reading Pride and Prejudice. But 2 nights ago I was like, okay, I've been like through this all. I keep hearing it again. I'm going to try Jane Eyre. And so I was sleeping and then I heard, "Are you awake?" And it woke me up and I was like, that was weird. I was like, did my kid come down here? And there was nobody down there. And I was like, it wasn't on the podcast because like even in between episodes, they keep the same, like if there's any type of ads, the ads are for like Spotify podcast. And they keep the same kind of monotone voice that they're reading in. And they don't say things like that because the whole point is to keep you asleep. So that was super fucking weird. And then last night, I was falling asleep. And, you know when you're kind of like in and out of sleep, like you're like top level kind of sleeping, so you're still kind of aware. So last night I decided, okay, I'll go back to Pride and Prejudice, listening to Pride and Prejudice. And then I was like almost asleep. And then I heard, "Hey." Now listen, I am not like a believer in ghosts. I don't really think I believe in like that sort of thing. But this was pretty strange. Because especially the "Are you awake?" was so distinct, like so distinct and so clear. There wasn't any type of muffle. It was very much like it was spoken directly into my ear. So, yeah.
Okay. Somebody please explain to me what is going on, and then I'm not going crazy. Okay? If you know me in real life, don't make fun of me for this. I have a daughter who turned 6 months 3 days ago. Okay? She has an R name First letter is an R. About 4 months ago, I had a very, very vivid dream that she didn't exist, and that instead of having her, my fiance and I decided that we were going to foster. And after months and months and months of not getting a call for a foster placement, we finally got a call, and it was for a baby girl, and her name was a very uncommon R name as well. And in the dream, she was like the same age as my daughter, same size, she looked exactly the same. And in this dream, she eventually had to go back to her parents, like reunification, whatever. And I remember asking the social worker in my dream, like, you know, why can't we keep her? This isn't fair. I've raised her. She's like a daughter to me. And then I also asked the social worker in my dream, I'm like, she would get along so well with my daughter. And the social worker looks me in the eye and goes, don't you talk about my daughter. Here, she does not exist. And then I woke up. So I'm like, okay, that's a little freaky, but whatever. This dream was so vivid that for the past 4 months since I've had it, I say probably once or twice a week to my fiance, I wonder how she's doing, this baby. And I'm not saying the name because it'll make sense in a second, okay? But it's another R name. So my daughter has an R name, and this dream baby has an R name as well. That's very uncommon, okay? So we go to the library today. That baby was there. She was there. Like I said to my fiance last night, I wonder how that baby is doing. And she was there. It gets weirder. She's with her grandparents. And Grandpa says, oh yeah, she just had her first birthday. I said, oh, that's really sweet. He goes, yeah, she had her first birthday 3 days ago. She is exactly 6 months older than my 6-month-old daughter. She is exactly double her age. When we were at the library, this little baby could not leave me alone. Like, she wanted nothing to do with her older sister who was there, nothing to do with Grandma and Grandpa. She was magnetic to me. Like, chills. So, if anybody has an explanation on what that was that, like, a sign? Was that 2 timelines folding together? Was it me getting my wishes answered on making sure that she was okay? Was it a glitch in the Matrix type thing? Like, somebody, anybody, please help, because I'm so happy she's okay, but also, what?
I need to touch base on this with you guys real quick because I love all of this so much. I do, but let's just think about this for longer than 30 seconds, okay? If I was at the library and the roles were reversed and Grandpa walked in and looked at me and looked at my daughter and was like, oh my gosh, this is gonna sound crazy, but I had a dream about you and I had a dream about your daughter, and I have this weird feeling that your daughter and my granddaughter have a soul connection, that they were together out in, you know, wherever the souls are before they're conceived, and I feel like they're like bound together. I would have looked at him and gone, cool, I'm never coming to this library again. Like, don't get me wrong. Things like this are so fascinating to me. I've always been drawn to them. A lot of you have been like, oh, you have a gift, whatever. That doesn't mean everybody else does, and that doesn't mean that everybody else has the same thoughts, feelings, and opinions as I do, or beliefs as I do, and that could go south very quickly. Very quickly. It would be even weirder if that baby was in fact in foster care, had I looked at the grandfather and been like, hey, I had this dream about your granddaughter here. I just have this gut feeling that I'm supposed to be fostering her. But I can't foster her because I'm not old enough. But I had this weird dream that she's supposed to be in my life. And if she really is in foster care, he'd probably go and yell at the caseworker and be like, why did this random girl at the library know that my granddaughter's in foster care? So, some things we need to keep to ourselves. This one, it's one of those things. So no, Grandpa does not know about anything. And if I ever run into them ever again, he still won't know about anything because I don't want to freak him out. That's just how it is. For example, if I came to your place of work, or if I ran into you in the grocery store and I came up to you randomly and was like, hey, I know this piece of information about you, and I'm just gonna spew it out for anybody around us to hear, you would be like, what the hell is going on? Why are you talking to me? Why do you know that? And you would have like an existential crisis for just a sec there. And Grandpa didn't need that, okay? So, no, not doing it. Love you, love the idea, think about it. The answer's no. The amount of you who commented this is insane, so I just wanted to come on and let you guys know that it's very funny, but also kind of odd that in this dream we were fostering this baby girl, because my fiance and I have talked about fostering plenty of times. It's a lifelong dream of mine. I want to be able to help kids, whether that be, you know, being a safe place for them or eventually adopting, depending on how their case goes. Obviously, it's a case by case and everything is different, and I don't want to offend anybody who has been in a foster care system and got, you know, reunified with their parents. It's not my goal to foster to adopt, as much as we're well aware that that is a possibility in some cases. That being said, we haven't done it yet because, well, two reasons. My oldest is 4. I have 3 kids that are aged 3, 4, and 6 months old, and I don't feel like it would be fair to them or a child that we foster to bring them in while my 3 kids already get so much of my attention. I want to be able to foster and give that child something that they so desperately need, whether that be love and affection or, you know, whatever the case may be. I don't feel like I could provide that to my fullest capabilities having 3 young kids. My second thing is we haven't started fostering yet, because even if I wanted to tomorrow, in our state, I am not legally old enough to yet. In Michigan, you cannot foster, or at least in our county, you can't foster until you are 25. I am 24, so I cannot foster until next September at minimum, which I don't think that we're going to start fostering come next September when, you know, I could get my license. But it's definitely something that we would like to start doing in the next, I'd say 5 years. So I just wanted to clarify that. We will be fostering at some point. We just physically are incapable of doing it at this very moment.
Y'all, I'm so sorry. I told you I had an update and then I couldn't record at all yesterday because I have a sick kid, and between all of the coughing and the snot bubbles and the mama, I need you in the background. It was not happening. But I do, in fact, have an update for you guys, and I think it does, in fact, have to do with the Akashic Records. So let's dive into it. But before we dive too far into it, I need to explain to you guys that another incident has happened, and after doing some digging and looking into what the Akashic Records really stands for and what it means and the information that it holds within it, I don't think this actually had anything to do with the baby at the library at all. And I will explain that. So buckle up. I got a lot of information to tell you guys, so bear with me. So we're gonna go all the way back to when I was little. When I was little, I saw unexplainable things.
like weird things. We're talking like spirit realm, fourth dimension, hear things, see things, weird stuff at all. Like it, the whole shebang, okay? It was weird. And it got progressively weirder as I got older. Now, when I was in school, in kindergarten, I made a friend. Her name was the same name as the baby at the library, okay? Which now, I will tell you guys, her name was Rosie, okay? The entire time that I was friends with Rosie, I saw weird-ass shit. That is the best way I can put it, okay? Weird shit. Not bad, weird, okay? So we grow up, we get to about, gosh, I want to say like 8-9 years old, we stop hanging out. We're not really friends anymore. All of these things that I've been seeing, all of these experiences that I've been having go away like that. So I'm like, okay, that's a little weird. And I didn't think it was coincidental because I'm 8 years old and I don't even know what a coincidence is or looks like or could be. So from that like 8-9-year-old age until about, I want to say 22 years old, my ability to see things was no longer there, okay? So there was no like, oh, you know, I feel like there's like a spirit in here, or hey, did you see that shadow over there, or did you hear this? Like, completely and utterly gone, okay? Once I turned 22, I now have begun my divorce process, and I'm like, I am going to go back and I'm going to work on little me and find little me. And that's the best way I can describe it to you guys. In the process of this, I start picking up my old hobbies and things that I know that little me would have enjoyed. One of those things being getting into tarot cards. So I had purchased a deck of tarot cards and practiced reading. I did not get good at it. In fact, I would probably say the opposite. But the key point to this is once I laid my hands on the tarot deck, all of these weird things that I was experiencing as a child came back. And it freaked me out to the point where my tarot deck is currently hiding in my house because I don't feel like destroying it. And I really need to cleanse them. And I haven't had a chance to cleanse them because it gets worse when I touch them. Dead serious. Continuing on. So my skill set starts slowly coming back, like I said. I'm starting to get more into like the spirituality again of like, you know, ghosts are very much real, spirits are real. They're all around us. We all have spirit guides. I'm still trying to figure out who it is that follows me around constantly because I know that they're there. I've had multiple instances where I can see my fiance's great-great-grandfather who has passed away. I can tell you exactly what his house looks like, what his yard looks like, what his face looks like, where the windows are in his house, if it's a brick house or not a brick house, and I've never seen it. Scared the ever-living cookies out of my fiance when we did that. That was fun. But yeah, so a lot of weird things, okay? So it's been progressively stronger. So since then, I've had this dream, like you guys know, right? Where it was after I had given birth to my daughter, Rowan. But it was, as a lot of you described, a premonition, that I had never actually been pregnant with Rowan, and that we had gotten this foster placement of this baby girl named Rosie. So that whole thing happens. My fiance and I are like at this point where we've seen her, we feel at peace. I still have yet to piece anything together about this whole name situation or me asking who the hell is following me around, because there's no Rosie in my family at all. I have literally spent hours and hours and hours on Ancestry, there is not one. Okay? So, fast forward to this past weekend, my fiance asks me again. Because I keep telling him, I'm like, this video is blowing up, and I don't know why it's blowing up. I didn't think it was that cool. It's just my life. And so he's like, he says to me, he's like, man, I wonder when Rosie's gonna come up again. I'm like, she'll find us. She'll find us. I'm not worried about it. I'm not gonna call for her. She's there. And she will show up when we need her. And he's like, that sounds weird, but okay. So this past weekend, we go to the mall. And we don't go to the mall. We're not mall people, okay? But we just went to the mall to just kind of like walk around. And a side story for a different video is my original engagement ring is broken. Okay, so we went to the jeweler, one of the jewelers in the mall, to look at rings. And this gal comes up and she's like, what are we looking for? And I looked her up and down and I said, based on how you are dressed, I trust you with my life. Pick what you would wear. And that's all I said. No, hi, how are you? This is what I'm looking for. Nothing. Just very blunt, to the point. I trust you. Pick something. And she's flabbergasted. She's like, oh my god, that's the nicest compliment I've ever got. Sure, yeah, okay, cool. So she goes, she grabs this ring, she brings it back, fall in love with it. That is the ring. Put it on my finger, we're set. She says to me and my fiance, she goes, by the way, you know, what are your guys' names? Here's some small talk, whatever. By the way, my name is Rosie. And I look at my fiance, and I'm like, found her. Told you she'd show up when we need her. Here she is. This is my ring.